This is one of my stores so far year to date. So January 1st through August 13th. Then there's the second store. So revenue wise, I'm close to the 2 million right now. Actually, pretty much at 2 million.
My student Junior made $2 million inside of 6 months and then actually started selling his store and sold his store for multiple 6 figures. And today's video is going to be the first of a series where I actually take one student of mine and dissect what they did really well. Because I think you can learn a lot from actually dissecting a person who did things right, took action, and applied the strategy to a T. So $2 million in 6 months is a number which is super high, and it doesn't even really sound kind of realistic, okay? The first thing you have to understand here is there was a build up to this, okay? Number one, that was not his first 6-month dropshipping. But what he did prior to this was the reason why everything took off so quickly for him. So Junior is a guy who actually already owned a previous business. He had a lot of business experience in the past, and when I started working with him, it was super easy to get him to do exactly what the strategy required, all right? I just needed to tell him what to do, and he did everything perfectly. There was no flaws, there was no problems, nothing. And not only that, but rather he did more than expected, okay? So when I told him, all right, here you have 5 products which are pretty okay, but I would start with this, test this one. He came back to me in the second call with all the 5 products tested, which I've never seen anybody do ever. Normally, if I tell to a person you have 5 great products, but start with 1, they're gonna prepare 1 and try to make everything nice there. He just tested everything, and 1 out of those 5 just hit, and it worked. All right, and that's it. And there I already realized that business experience anywhere else translates to dropshipping if you have the right strategy. Because he actually also tried to do dropshipping before we started working together, and it did not really work out because he was following a bullshit strategy. And now let me give you the 4 things which he did the best and which he kind of mastered to actually make this money. All right. So number 1 is he developed an eye for good products. And this comes with time and experience and with just testing at least 1 product per week for at least like a year. All right. If you do that, you're actually going to have an eye for what works, what doesn't work. And you don't really need that in the beginning because, for example, if you're in the program, I'm going to look over the products for you and I have this eye and I'm going to tell you this is good, this is bad. However, it's very important to develop this by yourself over time. Okay? And you can only do that through consistent testing. He did not stop testing products after having his first winner. He kept testing and kept testing and kept testing, and then he started to brand. And that was his second big leverage. He actually owned a warehouse in the US, and he started just getting a bunch of bulk orders to his own warehouse and send it out from there. He already had the infrastructure there, and some of my students I actually sent to him or another student who also owns a warehouse so they can actually have super good shipping. However, what changed there was that everything immediately started to be professional. He actually started also hiring like top tier influencers to make amazing content for him, and everything fell into place because he did this branding when it was needed. All right, he didn't start out with branding. He didn't do any branding stuff. Literally in the first $1 million in revenue, he didn't have a brand. All right. After that, he actually did start branding and things accelerated from there. And that's what branding is for. If you make money to make more money, that's why you need branding. Not to actually make your first money, but rather to make more money after you made some. Now, the next thing he did really well was he had a crazy amount of backup accounts. And he basically had a bunch of Facebook accounts lined up, which he could use if something would go wrong. All right. And he understood that if something will go wrong, that's not a problem at all because he has a backup. And for every single thing in the business, he actually had a bunch of backups, and he had those problems like payment issues, Facebook blocks, all of those things he had. However, because he built up this backup, it was not that big of a deal and he could just move over. And now the last thing, and that's one which I see a lot of people struggle with, is outsourcing. And again, he actually managed to outsource things really well because of 2 things. Number 1, he already hired people before in this other business. But then I told him that there's a thing which is called VAs, and you can actually hire people from everywhere. All right. And that opened up a whole new world for him. And he actually started hiring virtual assistants with great success because he basically had an assistant who did all the things for him, which he kind of was a little bit too lazy to do later on. Okay. Because Testing a product a week for a year, for 2 straight, is kind of tedious and annoying. However, that's only annoying and tedious if you do it by yourself. If you have another person to do it for you and you just basically solidify that this is a good product, like you basically just select them and that's it, it's not that big of a deal, okay? And you need to set up everything in a way where it makes your life easier. You don't have to play the game on like hardcore mode, all right? You don't need to do everything by yourself. You don't need to tell yourself, all right, I need to go the hard way to actually learn everything the hard way. No, not at all. Like that's not true. You need to get to the shortcuts. However, this shortcut thing is only there if you actually make the right decision. Because sometimes to actually find the shortcut, it takes a lot of work. For example, to actually hire a person is very hard. Like to hire good assistants in dropshipping is not easy at all. However, if you go this extra mile and go through like dozens of interviews, at some point you're gonna find a really good person who actually will be there for you and really help you out with everything. And then it's gonna be a shortcut. However, you made the work up front. And that's the key learning here. To actually get this shortcut, you need to put in the work up front, and it's going to be more work in the beginning. All right, shortcuts always require more work in the beginning to long-term shorten up everything. But in the beginning, it takes longer. I cannot stress this enough, because most people think shortcuts is this thing where you just like hire a person and they're going to do everything for you and that's it. You get a mentor, they're just literally going to do everything for you. You don't need to do anything, that's it. That's not how it works. If you're going to start working with me, you will need to do a lot of work. All right? I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you I just do everything for you, or tell you, all right, if you take like 30 minutes per day just to put into the business, you're basically going to become the next millionaire. No, this is not what I'm selling. And I also understand that I'm putting away a lot of the people who are watching this video right now, because to be honest, dropshipping is a business model which attracts get money quick. This mentality, it attracts it very, very good. It attracts it because so many people portray dropshipping as a thing, which is just like, you build a store, quit your job, you're rich, that's it, okay? It's again, like dropshipping is a shortcut to making money, yes. But in the beginning, you're gonna have to put in way more work, because dropshipping compared to a regular job is way, way harder in the beginning, way harder. But later on, you're gonna get the rewards. And it's the same thing as I described with the outsourcing. So if you actually are a person who understands that it will require work and I'm not gonna do shit for you if you don't execute, all right? If I see that you're not doing the strategy and doing what I tell you, that's it. Like you're not gonna make money. I'm not gonna just send you money and like revive your store, okay? There's no magic pill. It's not gonna do that. It's not gonna work like that. And if you really understand that you are willing to actually put in the work, and you understand that you actually are a person who does the things and executes, but you need a clear strategy on what to execute, then I have something for you. If you're that person, then click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session with me personally. We're gonna find out if everything is a good fit. Okay, if I see that you're not qualified for the program, I'm not gonna sell you bullshit. I'm not gonna lie to you and just sell you something anyways. If you see you don't have enough budget for the strategy to execute, if I see you don't have enough time for the strategy, if I see you're just not the person who's gonna execute, I'm not gonna start working with you and like just get money off you. That's not what I'm here for. I'm actually here to build long-term relationships where I work with people for years, all right? And I can only do that if you actually get results. So click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session with me personally, and yeah, see you there.
Everyday life, like what changed from actually doing that and going to 9 to 5?
What didn't change is the question, because 100% everything changed. As I said, I ran a multi-million-dollar company before that I've created, and I was pretty much in the corporate world. And so I had no time for family. I had no time for myself. I was always stressed out. And since starting this, don't get me wrong, it is stressful sometimes because something happens and your shipment gets stuck in customs in China. But I can go surfing again. I started jiu-jitsu, which is something that I've always wanted to start. And it's been like, I just got my blue belt like 2 weeks ago. And something that I would have never gotten had I been working 9 to 5. because it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, at like 10 to 12. So
Yeah.
who does that, but it allows me to do that. It allows me to work whenever I want. And it's not something that it's that time consuming. I feel bad sometimes for not working more. And then it goes back to that complacency type thing. I could be testing other products, but I choose to focus on the brand. I choose to focus on this brand until I can't focus on the brand no more type thing. But a lot of things change. But if I were to say one thing, the most important thing that changed in my life was the ability to be closer to my kids here at home.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's one of the reasons, and I really mean that, why I do the whole coaching thing. Because I always get this question of, okay, you're doing dropshipping. If you actually do dropshipping, why would you teach it? Why would you help other people to do the same thing, kind of grow competition? And if you make so much money with dropshipping, why would you need any money from the courses you do? I get that question a lot. And exactly that is my answer. I genuinely enjoy seeing those types of results where I can actually impact a person's life and change it 180 degrees, because I kind of share the value, and because I share the things I've went through. And for example, if I sell a dropshipping product, I love doing dropshipping as well. I truly love that. However, it's a completely different thing to sell a $30 item to somebody you're never going to meet, and actually teaching somebody to do this and to build an online store and basically change their complete life, completely, So yeah.
Not only that, it changed my life, and I can honestly say that. But you also changed my wife's life, because she was able to get a job from home. I'm able to afford more, and then my kids are able to see their dad almost all day long whenever they want. So yeah, it trickles down. It's a big impact. It's a big impact.
And that's something I even I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah. For me, I only so far I only basically thought that I impact the life of the person I'm actually talking to, but you're right. There's for sure more to that. Yeah. And also I also had one guy who started to donate really, really good money to charities and stuff like that. And that's also a thing where I don't feel I don't feel super responsible for a donation, because that's from his pocket, and I don't want to take the credit. However, it was the changing factor which enabled him to actually do that. And yeah, I really, really love that. Yeah, man, I really enjoyed this conversation for sure.